Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MySpace podcast. I'm your host, Smiley, and today I'll be reviewing the book The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. Stephanie Garber. Yep. This is book number 2 of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So, one more to go. Rating. Okay. I give this book a 10 out of 10. I love it. I love this whole series. I love it so much. And I love how we get to see Jax lose more control of his feelings towards Evangeline. It's hilarious. And then I do hate that then there's the whole they can't be together thing, but at least it's not as bad as what other books have been. So yeah, that's all I have to say. There's a lot going on in this book, so I can't talk about the whole ending basically because it's just a lot. Yeah. Anyways, I do want to mention this real quick. Nothing to do with the rating, but I don't know how to say Luke's name. Could be Luke, Luce. It may be Luce, because it is Luc, that's how it's spelled. I'm just bad with names, which is hilarious because my name isn't spelled the way you sound it out either, so yeah. Because, I see the name and I go Luke or Luck, but it could be Luce. POV. Nothing really changed with the POV, but we do get one chapter with Jax's POV. So yeah, also, there's a chance that the next book, the third one, switches POVs. I don't really remember, but I feel like it does. Yeah. My hair looks really puffy, I know. It's I don't know what's wrong with it today. Yeah. Plot/storyline. This is shorter than the other ones, I believe. Okay. So this book starts with Evangeline writing a letter to herself, telling herself to stay away from Jax. And then doing something she shouldn't have done, which kind of has to do with Jax, but also doesn't have to do with Jax. It has to do with the Valerie Arch, which I'll talk about later. Then, because Apollo is dead to everyone, most people, there's a new hire, and the announcement here, blah, 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 the hire's going to be there in a day. His name's Lucien. You never know, you can say names differently. Anyways, she's trying to find a way to wake Apollo up. So she goes to ask Lala. Lala is another fate. I'll talk about her later. Lala also tells Evangeline to open the arch, which Evangeline doesn't want to do. Then someone put another curse on Evangeline and Apollo. Well, actually, technically 2 curses. A mirror curse and the Archer and the Fox curse. Mirror curse is basically if one of them gets hurt, the other one gets hurt as well. And the Archer and the Fox curse is basically Apollo is chasing down Evangeline to kill her. It's a big part of the story, actually, because it's Evangeline's favorite story, which makes sense later. Actually, it just when you understand some other things. Anyways, so Evangeline gets hurt really badly. Jax takes her somewhere where she'll be safe, which is Chaos's castle. I'll say who Chaos is later too. Anyways, she's trying to figure out where the stones to open the arch are, because the arch, it needs her blood, but it also needs the stones, and she's the only one who can really find where the stones are. She and Jax go to Lala's engagement party because she's been engaged. things happen there. She becomes a little angry at some people. There was also a phone going on in the background. And then the mirror curse comes up again. Something happens. And they end up at this little inn where we learn a tiny bit more about Jax's past. We learn a lot more about Jax's past. Then a lot of things happen, and then some more. And more. And they're all spoilers, so I won't be talking about them. What I can say is that she does find all the stones and uses them. So yeah, going to Evangeline, she's like, her and Jax are both constantly fighting their feelings for each other, but she's constantly fighting her feelings for him because she thinks that he doesn't feel anything for her, and he just sees her as a tool. Mind you, that is how he acts, and he constantly tells her that. Constantly. All to get her to, like, go away and leave him because he doesn't want to hurt her. Anyways, she's pretty smart, but also oblivious and naive at the same time. Like, she's good at picking apart facts and seeing what things can be and stuff, and good at not coming up to conclusions when she knows she doesn't have all the facts. But then there are times when everything just flies out the window. And it's usually with Jax. And then this will happen again. But it won't be about Jax, it'll be because of somebody else. And also because something happened. But also, like, come on, girl. But this is in the next book. Beginning of the next book. I got bored and started reading the first chapter. And then I stopped myself. Hi, Frosty. Anyways, I love how okay, so she will think about doing things that make Jax angry, like dancing with Luce, or like whatever his name is, however you say it, or just doing anything that can make him jealous. And it's hilarious because she's always thinking about it, but half the time she doesn't do it because she's like, I don't want to make him more angry than he is. It's like, oh, come on, girl, just do it. And also, she's literally oblivious to anything related to Jax's feelings towards her because she's like, oh, no, he can't like me like that. No. But then also, she's not oblivious to it and knows that he has feelings towards her. But then also, I can't blame her for feeling this way because he's always telling her that she's just a tool to him and that she doesn't mean anything to him, and, you know. So it's really his fault. And on that note, Jax. Okay, so he lies, but it's more he's insinuating something. It's got something and just lets you believe that. So he's not really lying. He's just not telling the full truth. Like, he'll say part of the truth, but won't give you all of it, and you just infer. So, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Infer. When I was writing this, I kind of forgot the word, and I just used this word. It's infer. So, yeah. He also really likes Evangeline, and he just won't let himself have her. Which makes sense, though, because his kiss does kill people, and technically he already found the love of his true love, who he doesn't love. But he teases her a lot. They tease each other a lot. They're also, sometimes in these teasing parts, it can be a little not as young adult as it's supposed to be. But it doesn't get adult book far. It doesn't even get close to that, really. He does a lot to get a rise out of her, you know, make her angry too and annoyed. So they both do it to each other. He also really, really, really cares about her and is super protective of her. Like, he would do anything to keep her safe. Literally anything. He doesn't want to see her dead. However, he'll make it seem like he hates her because he needs her to open the vault. Because he... I'll talk about that later, most likely. Okay, to Lala. So, she's a fate. She's the unwed bride she's friends with Evangeline. She tries to protect Evangeline, but it doesn't really work. And also, she went about it the wrong way. Like, what were you thinking was going to happen, girl? What were you thinking? And then Evangeline is really good. She's really good at forgiving people. I don't know. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't forgive her just yet. Chaos. He's another fate, but he's a vampire. He also can't bite anyone because of the helm he wears. Also, I believe he was the first vampire, maybe. I think. I don't really know. But he can't bite anyone because of that helm. So, yeah. That's basically who Chaos is. The Valerie Arch. Okay. So this arch holds something that has to do with the Valors. The Valors were like, they were the people who used to rule over the North, and they had powers. Anyways, there's this prophecy that says that Evangeline can open the arch. Well, actually, it's anybody with rose gold hair. So it can be anyone with rose gold hair. Excuse me. Which means that... So the prophecy basically means that there's more people that can open it. So there have been more people. So technically Evangeline's not all that special. Anyways, though, her blood is needed and she needs to find the 4 stones: luck, truth, youth, and mirth. And they're all very powerful and can influence how you do things and how you feel. The Valerie Arch is holding something of the Valors, which we do figure out that it does happen. Spoilers now. Okay. Starting with the stones, because why not? So, Chaos already has the luck stone. One of the other prophesied girls found that luck stone and had the youth stone and tried to kill Evangeline. But Evangeline killed her first and got the youth and the truth stone, because the truth stone was also there. And this is all at Lala's engagement party. So that's why things happen at Lala's engagement party. So now they have 3 stones. We need one more. Evangeline finds the mirth stone at a little inn. And that's where more things happen. And where Evangeline decides to be a little stupid. Okay. I was seeing if there's anything I needed else to say. I'll go back and look. Anyways. So at that inn, because we're there, right? It is literally abundant with everything they need because of the mirth stone. It makes you feel all safe, comfortable, and protected. Also, my dog is like snoring in the back. Frosty. It's okay, she's laying down. It's like she didn't have all day to sleep. Anyways, at this inn, we learn that Jax is the archer. So I don't really want to explain, but I will. Just takes it more of me. Okay, so anyways, no, I'm kidding. I'll explain. So as I said, the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox, or whatever it's called, is Evangeline's favorite story, and she always wants to know how it ends, but the ending never says. Anyways, Jax knows what the ending is because he's the archer, and it doesn't end good because he ended up killing his fox. And he doesn't want her to end up that way either. He doesn't want to kill her. Anyways, at this inn, in her dreams, she's visited by this mysterious man that tells her to call him the handsome stranger. And then by Lala, they both warn her away from Jax and say that he is dangerous, which I believe is more I think it's more to keep Jax safe because they don't want Jax to get heartbroken. I don't know. It's confusing right now. It probably all comes together in the next book. It's also mentioned by the handsome stranger that Evangeline is a lot like Jax's first fox, so the person who he was in love with first, years ago. Something cuter at the inn is that there's this one night, actually right before they leave too, that Jax gets stabbed, but he's a fate, he's immortal, he heals. But he asks that for just one night they can pretend to be each other's. And then she's like, yes. And she's like, I'm yours. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but then everything goes downhill from there. And that's when Evangeline is a little stupid. Because she realizes that the Mirth Stone is controlling the whole place, and then she automatically goes to Jax doesn't actually feel for me in any way, which we all know isn't true. And also, honestly, Jax said some cute things in this book, usually when she was dying, because she almost died like twice. So yeah. And they were all things that showed how much he felt towards Evangeline, but she was also half delirious. And then she goes and decides to believe that he doesn't feel anything for her, so yay! Oh my gosh, I remember that. Okay, so I wrote something down. Before I talk about the ending, let me see if there's anything else I was gonna say. Oh, yes. So the person who put the curse on Evangeline and Apollo, that was Lala. That's what she did to try to get Evangeline to open the arch, and also why Evangeline was angry at her. And then they made up. I was like, girl, you need to work a little bit on not forgiving people so soon. Also, during that conversation, which is when Evangeline figured out that Lala had put that curse on them, Jax goes and says that she's just a tool for him and some other stuff, and Evangeline isn't happy by that. Also, she had the Truth Stone on at that point, and the Youth Stone was kind of nearby later, and the Youth Stone can make you all jealous. So that was fun. But anyways, Lala's engagement party was just fun. Stuff happened. And also, she almost died again. Okay, actually, she kind of almost died 3 times. But, who cares? Gosh, this girl. Death just follows her around. Okay. Was there anything else? Yep. Okay. Actually, I got through, 2 things at once. Okay. The ending. So we learn that when you put all the stones together, you can time travel. But it can only happen once. So, only once and only by one person. So, it's not something that can continue happening only one time. Jax is planning on using this to go back in time to fix things with Donatella, Princess Donatella, who is the girl who is supposed to be his one true love. He wants to have another try. And Evangeline doesn't want that to happen because if he goes back in time, then she'll forget everything that they've had together. So she tries not to get him to do it, but it doesn't work. So, yeah, also, another thing with time travel is that when you try to change something, time will fight against you. And when you change something, it will also take something of greater value away from you. So, Jax's thing of greater value is Evangeline. So, yeah. Also, Jax decides not to go with her in Chaos to the Valerie because he is basically in love with her and they had a fight. So he's all angry and stuff. Also, I don't think he wants to look her in the eye and use those stones to go back in time and try to be with somebody else who he doesn't even love. She mentions that. She's like, you don't even love her. Anyways, Evangeline and Chaos open the arch. Like, of course they're going to. They have everything they need. Chaos's helm is taken off. Now, Chaos's helm can only be taken off by I don't remember how it can be taken off, but yeah. Anyways, there are people. Anyways, in the arch are the Valors themselves. And Chaos is a Valor. It's a whole lot of things that happen. But anyways, Chaos is a vampire who hasn't drunk blood in 100 years. He hasn't fed. So, and then you have Evangeline, who's like the most curious person ever, and sometimes does things she shouldn't do. And she's human. So, of course he's going to end up feeding on her, which, well, he's going to end up drinking her blood, which ends up to kill her. This breaks Jax. He's, like, devastated because he doesn't get there in time to save her. That it is such a heartbreaking scene, too. So heartbreaking. Because he can't lose her, he decides to go back in time to save her, which is a big ass of time because you're literally bringing someone back to life. And then, after he goes back in time, he acts all rude to get her to leave, because that's the only way to get her to leave. She leaves in heartbreak. Then she has this whole revelation that she just needs to tell Jax that she loves him, and hopefully it will, like, get him to... Hopefully it will help take the curse that's put on him off. Hopefully, But before she can tell him that she loves him, Apollo comes along. And, well, now we learn Apollo is evil. He takes away all of Evangeline's memories. How? I don't know. Because, like, isn't it just nice to take away people's memories? Of course. I don't know how he has power to do it. It all comes third book. That's when we hear everything. Anyways. Yep. So, like I was saying, time changing the past will take something of equal value or like greater value away from you. And the only thing of value to Jax is Evangeline. So saving Evangeline, something else will happen to Evangeline, and that is her memories being taken away. Don't we just love that? So yeah, that is why I decided to read this book, because the other book reminded me of this, and when I really love this series, I should go reread it. Yeah. Anyways, that's about it. The next book is A Curse for True Love, the last book. And I have other books already lined up. They are books that I've already read, and they're pretty big, pretty thick books. They're also, I think, or at least hope, that some of the other books in the series are out, but I'm not sure about that. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, night, week, month, year, life. Thank you. Bye-bye.